Who smoked Captain Kirk, Ari's nemesis in Entourage, the mysterious guy everyone's afraid of in Heroes. And shit, we're out of time. Everybody show your love for the prolific, amazing, slightly diabolical Malcolm McDowell. And I'd like to thank you for joining me for this hour-long discussion of Caligula.
Oh no!
You mean I could do more than an hour on that movie? Actually, it was funny because somebody came to the table yesterday with the book written by the first assistant director. It was some Italian guy, I can't remember his name, but I remember him, but he'd written a book about the makings of Caligula. And I went, I've never read it. I've always heard about this book. And she said, well, you know, I got it online. You can't get it. It's really... I said, would you lend it to me? And I was just reading through it last night, howling with laughter at the ridiculousness of it.
I hope it was full of photographs.
No photographs, no. But he couldn't get permission to do that. You know, Guccione owned all the sort of visual rights. And, but you, at least, you know, you can't, he couldn't stop him from telling his side of the story as he saw it, which was very amusing. A lot of stuff I didn't know because it was all to do with the extras and the casting of this, that, and the other. You know, it was sort of fun.
Okay, well, we'll get to that later. Your list of credits is longer than, well, it's longer than anything I've got. And I know
because I'm old.
I saw that you were in Easy A, but I thought it would look weird, even though I'm good at research, for a middle-aged man to show up at a matinee screening of that, especially
Oh, it's a terrific
depending on
movie.
the kind of coat I wore.
You know, it's a terrific movie. It's sort of like this year's Juno, and that's the highest praise I can give it. It's a very well-written script, acted beautifully by Emma Stone, who's going to be a huge star. She's really wonderful, has a wonderful, quirky kind of sort of sense about her. I thought she was great. And the reason I did that film is because it was shot in my hometown, so I just, you know, 2-minute drive down the street, do the thing, and then go home for lunch. So
I'm going to find a teenager at the bus depot to go with me so I don't look quite so weird. But I am familiar with the rest of your work, and I want to talk about the high points because it's about pop culture. But doing the research got me to wondering, do you ever feel like you're kind of in front of the Russian judges doing the perfunctory moves, and you feel like, oh, I'm Billy Joel doing the Piano Man again, oh, Clockwork Orange, blah, blah, blah. No? You don't get sick of talking about any of this?
well, I mean, listen, if I was to say, yes, I'm sick of sitting here talking to you about it.
But me specifically.
It wouldn't be very much. Of course, I don't talk about or watch my films, ever. I very rarely talk about them. I've got 3 small children who could care less. You know, I'm just a dad running them to school and I'm their chauffeur, like everybody knows who has young kids. So, no, you know, I have a whole life outside of acting, a huge life. I mean, that is my life. Acting is, of course, I earn my living by it, but it's almost like my hobby.
I always find it weird when actors don't watch their own stuff, and sometimes I wonder if they're telling the truth. Are you lying?
No, well, of course, I see it if I have to go to a, you know, premiere or something. I have to show up and generate press to help the movie. I'm not a person that does personal, you know, PR. I don't do it for personal, to put my celebrity out there. I can't stand that. I'm very proud of being a good actor. You know, I'm a craftsman, I'm not an artist. I know what I'm doing, pretty much. Sometimes I surprise myself.
Well, I gotta say, you always look like you're having fun.
That's different. I am.
Is that just acting and you're really a miserable bastard, or
No,
are you actually having fun?
of course I love what I do. Otherwise, I've done enough of it now, I could retire easily and never look back.
But I know you're a golfer, and I caddied as a child, and they are miserable bastards.
Yeah, well, hey, welcome to the club. It is true, I'd rather get a hole-in-one than win an Academy Award. That is, without doubt, true.
Okay, all right. I think odds are better for an Oscar.
Probably.
Right. So the title is Pop Culture Icon, and this is...
Oh, don't get bound up in titles, you know, don't worry about it.
I'm obsessed with them because I'm a journalist. but I'm not a Fox News journalist, so you're safe.
Okay, good.
I just want to go a little bit into your early years because based on what I've read, you didn't sleep your way to the top over a period of decades. You had
I tried.
You had sort of a quick rise, so to speak, after a little bit of TV, right?
It didn't seem quick at the time. But you know, I starred in my first movie, which was a classic when I was 24. So I say to these young kids, oh yeah, I starred in 4 movies by the time whatever you're doing. You know, but the thing is, it was different then. You know, there was room for independent and artistic movies. I'm not saying that these, you know, green screen things are not artistic. Of course they are in their way, but you know, it was the time of really great artistry in movies. All you've got to do is look at some of the titles, look at some of Jack Nicholson's early work, you know, 5 Easy Pieces, all those extraordinary, we'd call them independent movies. I mean, you'd never get them made by a studio now. In fact, I'm doing this movie called Monster Butler, which I've had for 20 years. I finally got a green light on it from Warner Brothers, but not the studio, from Warner's Home Entertainment, which is the DVD division. And they're going to put up the money. It's a sort of modest budget. We're going to have to go to Cape Town to make it, even though it's supposed to be Scotland. And because we'll get another week shooting. So
and nobody can tell the difference.
Well, they won't be able to. That's true. I mean, no, you won't tell the difference. I mean, the magic of movies, you know.
So let's go back to your first film. Who's seen If?
Yes!
Well, If is a great film, and I'll say that unabashedly because
You couldn't make that now, though, right?
well, you could, but it would cost you. No, nobody would ever. But look, it's a subversive movie. It's about a revolution in a boys' school.
Yeah, imagine the pitch meeting for that.
Yeah.
It's this cruel boys' school, and you're going to love the ending.
Oh, wait a minute. You wouldn't even say it was a cruel boys' school. Most people that watch that movie go, oh, I wish I could have gone to a school like that. And only a man who loved his school could make that film.
I don't think a lot of Americans understand the concept of that kind of stuff.
No, because Americans think, oh yeah, it's a private school.
Which is called a public school.
Which is called public school in England. But in fact, it's not. It is, but it isn't. There's a whole other connotation that comes with public school education in England. In England, the public school, and most of them are 400 or 500 years old, with traditions that go back, back, back. They were established to educate the sons of noblemen so that they could get a rounded education to go out and administer the empire. That's why, basically, public schools came into existence. And they had royal charters and the whole deal. I mean, it was a very smart move, actually, because they produced some of the greatest minds the planet ever known. People like Newton. It goes on. I mean, on and on and on. But
Except for the whole colonies thing.
well, you know, you better get off that. I mean, listen, America is the new colonizer.
It's
You know,
not
whether
working
you like
out
it or
well
not.
for us either.
Not working out, is it?
No.
No.
So